Hi everybody, it's Jill Blanchette with Green Thumb Stampers. I'm here for a pre-recorded video of the June Christmas card tonight. I hope that you're going to like it, so stay tuned while I get it going and show you some new products, a fun technique, and just take up a little bit of your time. Alright guys, I am filming in a different spot tonight, so I'm going to try and hurry so that I don't lose all my light. This is the card for this month's Christmas card, and I apologize I'm not live, but I am on a little mini vacation with my friend and her kids, and I just didn't feel like hauling the video stuff with me. We are taking some crafting stuff with us, but I didn't want to bring the video stuff, so I'm going to do this ahead of time and post it out there. So here's our card that we're going to make. I am using some new Stampin' Up! Products from the July to December mini catalog. The mousse comes from the All Bundled Up stamp set, and I use the Whimsical Woodland embossing folder, and you may end up missing this. This is on page 39, and it's just down here, and these samples are using it, or this one sample is using it. And so you'd have to look real close to see it. I almost missed it. So that will be used for the fun technique on the background. So I have a Granny Apple Green card base that measures 8.5 by 5.5. Fold it in half at 4 1/4. Let's see, I'll set that aside. We have a base layer of 5 1/4 by 4, and then I just have some thick whisper or basic white that I did the mousse on and the greeting. So I'm going to show you a little technique here. We are going to take our Whimsical Woodland embossing folder, and I have my real red ink, and we're going to I'm going to turn it this way, so we're just going to rub the ink, drag the ink across the folder. You don't need to press too hard because we don't want to fill in all of the grooves, I'll call them. And I'm having a rough time dragging this. So you just real light drag that across there. And I got a lot right in the center, but I think the mousse will cover that up. And then you're going to put your paper in there, being very careful to set it down, and then close the cover on top of it, and then run it through your embossing machine like you normally would. So I went and ran that piece through my die cut machine, and what I wanted to tell you is you can do this both ways, but to get it to look like this, you would put the ink on the smooth side of the embossing folder. So like, I'll call it the top where the logo is, on that side. If you spread the ink on there real thin, all the impression or the raised up from the back is going to squish up and cause the color to come out on where it's all flat, which would be like in between all the trees and such, like here. It's not gonna look perfect. Don't keep trying and trying and trying. You can if you want, but from what I'm finding, and I decided then to look up some videos, and it's not going to be perfect. So I left it as is, but if you run it through, if you ink up the nubby side and run it through, it will look a little more like this. This was one of the things that I tried. I tried to do it the other way. I did it really lightly around on it, and that was how it came out. So we did that. Then you'll want to make sure you wipe that down, wash it off, do something with it before you end up wearing it. And then I have a green ink pad. It's very old, color Lemon Lime Twist, because all of my craft stamp pads I packed up tonight to go with me on vacation when I decided to pre-record the video. So I grabbed this, but you could use probably something close would be maybe the new Parakeet Party would be close, or you could use Granny Apple Green because that was the color that I used on the paper. But now you're going to take this ink pad and you're just going to do the same thing. You're going to rub it around on the top of your paper that you just ran through your embossing folder very lightly, just barely drag it across there, and then this color is going to pick up on the little I'll call them the nubbins, the pieces that are sticking up still. And this pad is really old, as I said, and it's kind of needs to be re-inked, so I can go over this a bunch of times. But you will be able to get a feel for your ink pad when you do it, you know, on how much you can actually, because you can, you know, rub too hard and get splotches and all that. So I'm going to stop right there. And this piece then gets adhered onto the front of the card. Keep an eye on my video. I probably should stop and bring a light over, shouldn't I? Alright, we'll give that a little shot and see if that light is going to help at all that I just put there. So I've adhered that down. Now I'm going to go to my ribbon and we're going to cut off 2 pieces of the white frayed ribbon. I'm going to fold it in half. And I'm going to cut it at an angle. I'm going to do that at the other end as well. Cut it at an angle. And then I'm going to cut the 2 pieces off. I want a smaller one for the bottom and a longer one for the top. I'm going to put some adhesive onto the card itself to glue it down. And we're just going to put it sort of by the edge, but not really by the edge, in a little bit. I'm going to glue that down. You can go back with your scissors and try and even that up. This ribbon cuts really, really easy, and it sort of frays when it cuts. That's maybe why they call it frayed ribbon. But if I pull this, it'll start to unravel too, which makes a really neat look, but it's not what I want. And then I'm going to do the same with the red ruffled ribbon. And this is just what I had. Any ribbon that you have handy works. You don't have to have anything special. Any colors. I'm going to glue this on. Oops, that's the dead one. Need to throw that a little bit further away. And I'm going to overlap it just a little bit. You could even pop it up on a dimensional if you want, because the white is definitely higher than the red. And then this one I'm going to also fray, or not fray it, I'm going to cut it at the angle. And I want it smaller. Let's see if I'm struggling. It was easier to do this when it was on the roll the first time. And I don't like that they're not the same point. And then I'm going to glue that one onto the lower portion of the card next to the white ribbon. So we're just like building the front up. Then we're going to take the extra white, the thicker white, and I'm going to stamp the moose in Memento, the tuxedo black. My silly name tag keeps getting all crooked, but it does every time, doesn't it? I'm going to stamp that. And then I am going to color the moose, and I colored his, these called antlers on the moose. Are they antlers? Are they horns? I don't think they're horns. I think they're antlers. I got my dark crumb cake for his antlers. Actually, a moose, they might be something different than antlers. Well, maybe not. I think they're antlers. I'd have to Google that. They're just so much like bigger than deer antlers. And then I got the light crumb cake that I will come and fill it in with. And I just didn't Google the moose first to see his coloring. I just am going with what I had handy and not packed up yet for Tennessee. And then I have a dark and a soft, or a light soft suede. And I'm going to come through on his ears a little bit. And then just kind of areas where he looks like he might need some dark. Kind of on his chest, in there by his scarf, and I'm going to go around by the hat, kind of on his nose, around his mouth, so just kind of areas that might get a little more shading on him. I'm not going to color this whole thing and make you watch. I'll stop and come back. And then I will do kind of close to the scarf. I'm just showing you what colors I'm using. And then I'll do a little bit on his legs in the dark. These little spots for sure should be accented. Then I will come through with the light. And then start to fill in and drag that dark out. So I'm going to pause for a minute while I do that. Finish him out, and I'll be right back. So I'm trying to color in my scarf and my hat now, and I'm using the Granny Apple Green. For the green, I use the dark. And then now I've got the real red light, and I've already gone over the scarf and then the lower part of the hat and around his face with the dark, and now I'm coming in and whoops, I just went over into him with the light. But let's see if I can get that red out of there. Now the little guy's got bangs. So I'm going to go now and, oh, I got a little bit of a pink for inside his mouth. Now I'm going to go and cut him out, and I'll be back again. Okay, so my moose is cut out, and now we are going to stamp our sentiment in real red. Just going to stamp that along the bottom, and then we're going to cut it out. Alright, we're going to stamp that along the top. And then I'm going to cut it out I'm going to cut this off. In a strip. I want it in a strip. So if you've got like a 1/2 inch strip around, that works. Go ahead and use that. Doesn't we're gonna kind of cut it all not even, so it doesn't matter if what the size and shape of your strip looks like. So we're going to cut out, I'm going to cut them at an angle like that. So I got, it's feeling, these are really close together. And then I'm going to stamp a lot like again. And Christmas. Oops, I cut them all a little bit different angle. And so I want to get the a lot like again because that is so close. We just want to cut that out of there. So then we'll bring our card back in. And this is another one of my Christmas, that group. This is another one of their sketches by Crystal Minkler. And it had these flags on the top and the bottom. And then the sentiment was in the center. So I got that was the one that was crooked or double stamped. So I'm trying to follow along with the sketch that she supplied and do my own thing with it, which is what she encourages you to do. But this time I didn't shake it up into, I wanted to do a fun fold. I had one in mind, but it was gonna take a lot of thought, and I just said, you guys don't want to hang out while I think that through, and it's bad enough you're hanging out while I'm putzing through this one. I tell you, it would be a little bit different had I not chosen this spot to film, so I may end up redoing this video. We'll see. So it's feeling a lot like Christmas going up and down the side. Then I'm going to take my moose and I'm going to put some dimensionals on him, put some on his legs, put a big one across his body, and then I'll put one up here on his, maybe I'm going to cut this one. I'll do his antlers, his hat, and I'm going to do the other leg. Could do the other antler too if you wanted, but this might be too fat. I'm going to have to check this one out. That might be spilling over the outside of his leg. Oh yeah. Okay, let me pull it up here off camera while I see if I could try and cut that off. I think I'm off camera. If not, then you get to see me try and cut it off, but I got to get a little bit closer to myself. Alright, and then I'm just going to stick the moose kind of gonna center him around this sentiment space. And there you have it. I didn't put anything inside yet, but there's a cute little critter. I like this little bird. I think I'll probably put the little bird inside, maybe the snowflakes. Not sure yet. But there you have it, guys. So here's our Christmas card for June. Have a great rest of the day, the night, the weekend, and I will be back again on Wednesday when I get back from Tennessee. Wasn't that a cute card? I really like that stamp set. You will be able to get it starting July 1st out of this mini catalog. This will be active July 1st through January 4th. And it was the all bundled up stamp with this cute moose. Gosh, she's cute. And then that awesome Whimsical Woodland 3D, oops, I've got my hand over, the Whimsical Woodland embossing folder. It's adorable too. So have a great rest of your night, everybody, and I will be back on Wednesday for my weekly live and July 25th for another Christmas card. Bye-bye.